الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. This is the Darood Sharif. Every one of us knows it, recite it in every prayer and repeatedly many other times during the day. The translation is, Bless, O Allah, Muhammad and his progeny of Muhammad, as you did bless Ibrahim and the progeny of Ibrahim. You are indeed the praiseworthy, the glorious. O Allah, prosper Muhammad and the progeny of Muhammad, as you did prosper Ibrahim and the progeny of Ibrahim. You are the praiseworthy, the glorious. When we say Darood Sharif and pray for the blessings of Allah to descend upon the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his posterity, and we seek Allah's barakat upon them for their prosperity, success, abundance, exaltation, then obviously the progeny of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all his children include his natural as well as his spiritual children. All the followers of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are therefore among his spiritual progeny. This point becomes further clear when we read in Surah Al-Ahzab, ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما. That is, Muhammad is not the father of any one of your men, in other words, physically speaking, and he is the messenger of Allah and the seal of the prophets, and Allah has full knowledge of all. He is Khatam al-Nabiyin, the prophet of the prophets, and the best of the best, and the spiritual father of all, upon whom all possible spiritual blessings have fully blossomed and culminated. As Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was the father of multitude, father of nations, and was given the great posterity that was blessed numerically as well as spiritually, similarly the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his followers are to receive in abundance everything, every exaltation of all kind. This promise is again reiterated in Surah Al-Kawthar. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. That is, in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, surely, Allah says, surely we have given you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar, which is the abundance of everything that exists. So, pray to your Lord and offer sacrifice. Surely it is your enemy who will be without progeny. So in other words, this ayat, this surah makes it clear that the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ will not be without progeny. Though we know that he never had a male progeny, it means that he will have everyone, even his enemies' children will become his progeny, spiritually speaking. And they will have all kind of things, all kind of promises given to them with two conditions. Number one, that if they continue to pray. And number two, if they continue willingly to sacrifice whatever is being asked for. Here, abundance of every conceivable goodness, prosperity in all its blessed forms, is a firm promise of Allah with the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With one heart, mind, soul, it is fundamental. And also the spirit of continuous sacrifice. So these are the two conditions if you want to have Al-Kawthar, which is promised to the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa. All the blessings, all things conducive to success and prosperity, all spiritual favors, everything that brings true everlasting joy depends upon the prayer and sacrifice. Today, we are celebrating Eid-ul-Adha. It is a happy and blissful day as we have gathered here today in a congregational prayer. And it is a day to commemorate and observe a great sacrifice. This is a day to commemorate the great sacrifice that Hazrat Ibrahim ﷺ offered, and Allah blessed it and his posterity abundantly. As we all know, Hazrat Ibrahim ﷺ was willing and ready to sacrifice his only firstborn son, Hazrat Ismail ﷺ, in obedience to Allah that he worshipped most devotedly. Because we all know he saw the dream that he sacrificed his own son. He thought that is what he wants. Allah wants it. Now that son was given to him in his old age. And that time he was the only son that he had. With lot of prayers he was given this son. And then he sees that he is sacrificing that son. And he is willing to do that because he is obedient to Allah. But the child was in reality sacrificed because the human sacrifice was never allowed by Allah. So though Ibrahim thought that's what he wanted, Allah stopped him and asked him to sacrifice an animal, a ram. But the child is the Ismail ﷺ, really sacrificed with the loving father when the loving father had to leave him and his mother, Hazrat Hagar, Hazrat Hajara ﷺ, in the deserts of Arabia. That was the sacrifice. There is no food, no water, nothing. Extreme heat. And these two, mother and son, are left in the desert by the loving father who loved the child as much, who loves his wife as much as any person can conceive of. But now Allah wants them to be sacrificed in that way, and he was willing without question, and he did it. Now Allah accepted that great sacrifice. Now that was a sacrifice, not a human sacrifice. And transformed the desert into a sacred city of Makkah that we all know of now. That was built around Kaaba, the house of God where Allah had provided a spring of water miraculously. When Hagar was running up and down the two hills trying to find some water, someone who may be moving around, some house that she may see, but there was nothing in the desert, and the angel of Allah comes to her and says, don't you worry, because she thought her son is dying of thirst. He says, go back where you have left your son and see there's a water